Right, welcome Urists. We're about to sort of get back into Dwarf Fortress again, and we played, about a week ago, I guess. And today we're going to be sort of mainly, I think, focusing on this tower here. There's a few little things. We've got, actually, we've got a lot of things we have to focus on. But the tower is essentially now going to be where we're going to be just checking for things all the time. We tend to have a fair bit of interactivity with different groups moving around. WASD should get me sort of moving around in this location. One thing I'm concerned about is that we don't actually have any bins anywhere, and I probably really should just clean up the fortress and have it so that we can see if there are empty bins, that they get positioned somewhere very, very particular. So I might actually go and do that. Got some that have got sort of piles of vomit and stuff like this, which are sort of everywhere. So we've got traps in here, which is actually okay, but any thieves at the stage will be able to sort of get into the fortress. What else have we got that we need to be concerned with? We've cleaned up that area, which is fine. Just go back down into the actual group itself. We have our military. Now, did I turn that one off? No, it's back up and operational again. And we do actually have a whole lot of bolts that are still down here. And again, no bins in here. And I need to be collecting the bins to sort of pick things up from there. Now, what else is there that we need to do? I'll just turn off the zones. These, we're starting to now train up war dogs again. I don't really I want to get like a fair bunch of those to then sort of allow them to start to follow groups around the fortress. So we end up having like so that the military will end up with their own set of dogs. Hi Kujagrim, how you going? And Skedek, how you guys going? It's good to have YouTube back and up and running properly again now. It was painful not knowing what was going on with that. Anyway, let's keep on going down through the fortress and just sort of seeing where there's areas that we need to be focusing on. One thing I was thinking of doing was actually setting up like a water cascade into even in around here somewhere, just to allow the dwarves to enjoy mist as they come into this particular location. I don't know whether to sort of start doing something big like that now. That's going to take a little bit of time. We need to then build perpetual motion machines and stuff like that, which can be a little bit problematic. If I go back down, I do have access there, have access there, have access there as well, actually. And technically, I mean, actually all I need to do is I just need to get a pipe in the area above here, which is, maybe we look at this area here. The pipes would then need to come back down through the location here, unfortunately. Then we have the areas above, which are actually okay. It's this area here that's in the problem. We probably need to take over these bedrooms, which can be done. We can kick the dwarves out of those and then change those into like a pipe system. So we could actually still move away and have this as the top level of something that ends up coming back in, but that's going to be a little bit tricky. Then we have the group above as well, like whether this is actually aquifer or not. Yeah, we've got aquifer on that layer, but do we have aquifer on this layer? We can't really tell because this is full of tetrahedrite. That one there we don't. Like now that I've got this selected, I should see if there's anything like back over here. We certainly do have aquifer, but we don't have it here. Where does the aquifer then kick in? I think, yeah, the aquifer is actually higher up. Yeah, we can actually work on the layers higher up. Then we've got aquifer here, which is already then sort of, and we've got aquifer back over this way again as well, but it then goes up, aquifer there. So it's actually because we're in a got a mountain. The aquifer is sort of like shaping to the area of the mountain. So I do actually have areas above the that zone. So I can fairly confidently work on this layer here as something that then sort of kicks in, and then we go deeper down. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong staircase there. Where's the other? Oh, we didn't actually build this. We've got the staircase there. Yeah, I still think even over here, which is where the where we would end up being, I feel that we would actually end up being okay here, which would be the start of the whole cascade. So we'd need to be pumping water up. Yeah, may even start looking at that now. We might have a quick look and just make sure we've satisfied all of the needs. One chest needs a second chest. I might just double check that one. For the barren quarters, while we're looking at the these now, the chests, we're still trying to build different things coming through this way. The bins, actually, the bin stockpile. That's where we got. That's where we got waylaid. That will be deeper down where we've got bins. There'll probably be a bins and barrels stockpile, I would imagine. Now this looks like empty barrels. Let's have a look at the stockpile. Oh, this is just basic furniture. That's everything. That's basic furniture, but this one over here, what's this one? Hang on, that's not right. It's just basic furniture as well. I'm not sure what I've done there. These aren't nuanced anymore. Something's gone a bit haywire here. These are just purely stone. Oh my God! Don't tell me that we have to now go through every single stockpile and sort it all out. All of my custom settings have gone everywhere. Ah, no. Oh no, this is not good at all. That is painful. Okay, so something bad has happened with the save settings here. That means every single stockpile is going to have to be rejigged. That should just be seeds, but it's only food. Oh no, that's active. Oh no, sorry, it's still. Oh God, that's me. I've only just woken up. So we've got gems. Yeah, okay. We do. The settings are still here, but so why are the furniture? Okay, here we go. So bins will be placed in here, and we're not seeing bins being done that way. So if we have a look and back into here, this one here should just be purely. Well, that's everything. This is what threw me off. This is should just purely be. Let's do that again. It should be empty barrels. But it's everything. That's what that should be. So if we're just trying to store barrels, and actually it was barrels and pots. And it was set that way, so I'm not sure why that would still be large pots and food storage. Yeah, so they're the two that should be on there. Interesting. Why is that doing that? That is strange. And then everything else back over in here, if we go to custom, barrels, bins, and large pots and storage, sandbags and slabs are actually elsewhere as well. So that's everything that we need to have. What I'll do is I'll just go back up the top here again and just double check this one in here. View stockpile, custom, furniture, should actually be off completely. Should go none of that. So we just get rid of furniture completely from that stockpile. Yeah, that should be okay. Hi Falcons, how you going? And Dragster, is my character still going strong? Yeah, we haven't had any kills for a fairly long time. There it is. A miner meditating on creation. Very happy. Dedicated. Oh, look at the clothing. No one's got any clothes. Cow leather trousers, spider silk dress. Well, that's all there. It's not as if it's all pulled. No, that's okay. Wonder why that's the again. I haven't unpaused the game. That may be what it is. God, everything's sort of freaking me out today. Okay, well let's start thinking about a major of something we can do. Now I do need to figure out like a pipe section that would then come back through here to then operate the like a waterfall type arrangement. But if I do the waterfall there or in around that area, it then breaks as we sort of get into this sort of region. So whatever we do is going to have to be sort of higher up. This is food storage. So that's all done. Actually, the bins. Where's the workshop? So add new task. Now, why aren't the bins being allocated? Let's have a look and see what's happening with our work orders. We're looking for wooden bins. Or just bins. Oh, there it is, wooden bin. Now it's not activated for some reason. Why? Logs available at least 50. Okay, so we've used up all the wood. God, we're actually really rattling through things here. Okay, so the wood is the problem with the bins, so we need to now go and get more wood. If we're down in this area, we can then have a bit of a look to see. We can't get outside, it's too dangerous. So really our only real spot that we can then go and do anything is here. So we do have a little bit there, but this is nothing. Like this is minimal wood down this way. And then here we do actually have wood here, but it's only like one level high. I might as well take it just while we're here. So what I'll do is I'll set up a couple of wood chopping zones, just so we've actually got like areas we can then go and take wood from, because it still wants to do it. The other thing I can do here is to actually build it so that this can actually end up being a forest, because we're not really using this area here above. And this is actually, this now is something that that could be quite good for us. So what I'll do is I'll make it so it goes 3 higher than what it was. So we'll end up with a forest location here. I think that will work out well. And I don't want it to be activated from in here. So I'll actually do it from within this zone. So we have a low-level wall here. Now we do actually have access that goes up and then across into this sort of zone, and this would actually be ideal. So we can actually then just move up into this region, and we could actually start the process right from here. So the guys could actually come through, go up this staircase, across here and into here, and then start to move up. So I'll actually go and build a staircase up. We'll make it 3 high. So I'll just go and dig those out. Oops, hang on, it's the dig menu. Stairs. So I'm going to go and build the stair from there, just up to there. And this will then be the top layer for what we'll end up with so the trees will ultimately be 5 levels high. So this will be sort of like the zone that they'll then be in. And all we need to do is just go and chop out a section which is ultimately going to cover that zone. So I will dig straight down, I think, and be done with it. So we can... Now the other thing I can do is I can actually create even more land if I wanted to in here. Look, I won't get too tricky. I've got enough there. That's enough for a little forest. So I'll dig it a bit deeper out. So I'll sort of dig it. So when we do come back up to the top here, I'll just dig it out a little bit around here. So it sort of looks like this, and then we'll actually channel down. So this is dig a channel, making the ramp on the area below. So we'll actually just go and start to dig that one out, and I'll just keep on going to the bottom and just seeing where that actually ends up going. So we want to go out to round about here. How far across? Just out to here somewhere, maybe out to this one here. And we want to go further down. Yeah, we do. I'll dig it down to here. Oh no, that's okay. We've got that one there. So this will be then just channeled out. This will then channel to the layer below. And we'll then just go back in and dig another way up at that location, and also at this location. Well, actually, that's all going to be okay. So I'll just leave that where that is. I'll just dig those out as well. All right, let's unpause. I don't think we've got anything that we have to sort of be really dealing with. Yep, so getting rid of the stray pults, which is fine. Oh, now in the meantime, I did mean to make this into a forest, into a zone. So we actually have one of the things we have with DFHack, which I don't really use all that much. But if we go into the actual, where is it, the control panel, which is sort of like the overall thing of how things work, we've got a thing called auto chop in here, which I have turned off by default, just so that they don't wander outside. If you have that one turned on, they will just go and out, the woodcutters will just go and automatically chop wood. So I can actually have a bit of a look at this one through here. So auto chop, auto harvest trees when low on stockpiled logs. So this plugin can automatically designate trees for chopping when your stocks are low on logs. It can also ensure specified burrows are kept clear of trees. So, for example, caravans always have a path to your depot, and trees won't grow close to your walls, giving invaders an unexpected path into your fort. Now, we've catered for that anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. Auto chop checks your stock of logs and designates appropriate trees for chopping once in every game day. Logs that are forbidden or inaccessible, example in hidden parts of the map, underwater, etc., are not counted towards your target. Trees that are inaccessible are likewise never designated. Please see the GUI auto chop for the interactive configuration dialog. So that's actually the one that we do want to be looking at, because there's a graphical user interface for actually managing this one through here. So we end up with sort of like a targets, and we can then sort of do different things. But we can actually, so we've got clear all non-food producing trees out of a burrow, for example, things like that. So we can actually go and do different aspects of this one. If we go to GUI auto chop, which is this one here, so usage is GUI auto chop. Now, if I go back into this location and click on that one, this is actually this is what we have. So we need to create a burrow is actually the way that we designate this one. So I can actually do it through, I can do it just as a general thing. We'll chop any accessible tree on the map at the moment. I don't want that. What I want to be doing is I want to be going and designating an actual burrow for them to operate in. And that will be this, so we'll create an auto chop burrow. So we do that through our burrow system. So establish a burrows. Now we've got a safety zone in through here. We're going to add a new burrow. This one is going to be auto chop. Now I can still see just underneath here what's going on, so I will actually, I could actually even go further down, but I think, look, let's just keep on going with this one here. So I'll just go and make this into a new burrow, up to there. And we'll make this into a darker green. Choose a symbol for the burrow. Just make it into a dark greenish sort of colour. Yep, like that. And we'll make this one into like a tree. Just so we can sort of see it there. So it's only going to be a small burrow. Probably won't be big enough, to be honest. Choose a symbol for the burrow. Yeah, so that's okay. The background, I'll make that a little bit darker as well. No, that's too dark. Back this way. That'll do. That'll do. So we've got the, so that's it there. Except, and this burrow is going to be the wood, so a forest. And I can then designate this into other locations if we have other locations that would be applicable. So, and so this will be the actual one that we actually end up having through there. So we've got that one designated at that point. Now the burrow, I don't think that actually interferes with the other burrow. I don't believe. So I don't think there'll be any issues. I think that the other burrow is still where that is. Yeah, no, that's fine. So and when I hover over these two, we can see that there we've got, it's just over the top of the safe one as well. So we've got forest in through there. We'll just go and press escape. So we now have a burrow called forest. And so we can now go into the auto chop. Yeah, so we just go back into DF hack. I will just enable this one in the GUI. Actually, I can just do GUI auto chop if I wanted to, or I can just go back to my control panel and just do it from in here. So I will turn it on. So this is enabled. We also have an auto start thing as well, where auto chop I keep turned off. But now we've got auto cheese as well. We do have that one turned on. Let's just go and turn it on. So auto harvest trees when low on stockpiled logs. And now we'll just come back in. So what we want to be doing is target number of logs is 200 at the moment. That's sort of what we have. I'm going to go to chop. So allow auto chop to chop trees in this burrow is going to be on. So we're going to cut down all trees in this burrow is off. Protect trees that produce brewable items. Protect trees that produce edible items, and protect trees that produce cookable items. So we have different things we can do. But I really just want to auto chop trees, not cut down all trees in the burrow. So allow auto chop to chop trees in this burrow is on. I'll just go and apply. And so clearing basically means get rid of even small trees, but this way at least they'll try to let them grow a little bit. We'll chop in burrows tagged with chop, so which is this one here. So Control H, hide burrows with no trees is off. Hide burrows with no, yep, that's okay as well. Designate trees for chopping now. Now it's funny that we've got 7 trees also in the safe zone. I don't know where. Oh, that must be even further out. It's probably the 6 that we have in here plus one other one. There's probably that one there. Yeah, no, that's okay. So so usable logs in stock is only 49. Approximate logs left in accessible trees. There's heaps of logs around the place. There's outside as well. Approximate logs from designated trees 161. So so that's all. That's what we then have to be sort of really operating on. Or I can go outside and chop some down manually. I don't want to be outside. I want that to be sort of kept separate. But this is all I need to do. So that is literally auto chop will now automatically start. They'll just come down and designate these ready for chopping. So we'll just go back up in here. We'll just watch what actually happens as they designate all this stuff. Oh, another forgotten beast. It's our third one actually. So the Forgotten Beast, feral Noishack has come, an enormous feathered earthworm. It has wings and it undulates rhythmically. Its indigo feathers are fluffed out. Beware its fire. So it's a fire-breathing worm. Just go and click on OK and pause. This is a flying. This will be a flying creature, which will be very dangerous, but we should be okay, I think. Now it's come through down in here. We don't see the wings, but it is flying because it's above. That's the lava layer there. It's not in the lava. It's actually out above the lava. It's come through on the bottom layer of the fortress. Now we don't have any. There's no access anywhere into this particular layer, so it's not going to worry us what this thing does. It's really not a problem for us. It's interesting. We've got water there, I think, but we don't sort of look down deep enough at that particular location. Anyway, that's not going to be something we have to concern ourselves with, and it can't get up to where the other Forgotten Beast is. So we've got this Forgotten Beast, which is on the top layer, and we have the other Forgotten Beast now on the bottom layer. And I think there's a third Forgotten Beast wandering around in the middle layer as well. So they're all over the place. We might have a look and just sort of see if anything does actually happen here. Beware it's fire. Okay, so sparring is fine. Now that does need turkey leather. Turkey leather's become a bit of a problem here. We're not getting enough leather from the turkeys. Anyway, we'll just keep on doing what we're doing here. We can only do what we can do. Just come back up and just watch what happens in here, I think. Just look out for combat and just see if anything does actually happen with the creatures. I wish there was more you could do with the combat. Now we've got Resmelin is now throwing a tantrum. So we'll actually go and have a look at this. Just go and click on OK and then pause. This is actually where things can go a bit haywire depending on where they are. Now it looks like he was outside. There's Resmelin there, the planter. Haggard. Yeah, so Resmelin will be extremely unhappy. Didn't feel anything after seeing the dog Atoll Shortfound's dead body. Not sure when that was. Was haunted. This is one of the problems. Yeah, it was haunted for a long period of time. I don't think there's much we can do there. I don't wonder where that dog is. Dead body. Didn't feel anything after seeing. Not that she didn't feel anything there, so it's not as if it's her dog or anything. I think we'll just have to let it go. So Resmelin's just going to have to sort of wander around there. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of the comments here, guys. So we've got so Falcons, I hate it when he says for a very long time. It's almost like he thinks heavy spy stuff. Yeah, I think they do actually. I'm sort of really wanting a siege, to be honest. I really want a siege. What's with the message? 2 groups of citizens are stranded. That dragster is actually our 2 were creatures. We're still a little way off before they transform into were llamas. Is it were llamas? No, were bisons. They're were bisons, and so we've got 2 kids that happen to be were bisons. Now that there was set up for chopping down, and this one was chopping stuff. I'm just going to have to let that one go, I think. At least the tantrum's outside where it can't cause too much damage. So we'll just let that one go. Yep. So cancels felling a tree. Now, auto chop for some reason allowed them to chop this one, which does concern me. That shouldn't be. what it has. I might just double check that. Okay, we'll just go back to Control Panel and go to the Auto Chop menu. Your total tree is designated 4. That's it. Should be okay. That should be okay. Let's just have a quick look downstairs. I think that maybe when we first turned it on, it was done that way. Rather than I should have not turned it on. Or what I should have done was actually just gone straight down to the bottom. That was F6, I think. Nope, F5. Yeah, F5. See, there's 4 outside somewhere that have been designated for chopping. I'll let that happen because there's no danger outside just yet. Got a heap of logs out in here as well, which were sort of just left outside. Now I could cheat and teleport them inside, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think this is one of those things where we need to earn our way through this. Just having a bit of a look back up and through here. Yeah, this is the layer above. That's fine. So Von Rabbit saying the flying earthworm, good for catching flying fish, only gigantic flying fish. And Vinyl Rabbit redeemed a character. So right, we'll go and do that one. Hi Began, how are you going? So with the characters again, who have we got? I don't know why they're all just wearing no clothing. That's unusual. There was an update in the game, but I'm not sure what's going on there. All right, so what we'll do is we'll have a quick look and see if there's people in our military. I think that's probably a good way to start. This is really concerning, actually. Just the graphical update here has changed. Yeah, we've got Sedgehammer. So I'll give you Dolil Odom. So this is actually part of our cursed bolts. I don't think that if I go back to the squads, I think all of the other squads have been designated. Yep, they've all been designated. Back to squads, and they're all designated as well. All right, so it's just this squad here now that we're sort of starting to do. So this is going to be Dolil Odom. Just make sure that you don't actually already have one. No, you don't. Okay, so Dolil Odom, Swords Master at this stage. So Vinyl Rabbit. There we are. Yep. So in the barracks, just ready to go. Now we will eventually sort of get things sorted out with all of them. What I might do is I might even just go back up top and set up some zones at the top here as well. Not a zone, but just a. I might just chop down the trees. I see how that one there has been designated. I'm going to remove that command. That's a strange command for it to be there, but I will actually designate some of these out around here. These do grow very, very quickly, these trees. There's nothing out that way. Might as well just keep everything sort of clear from around this zone. I'll just get all of those chopped as well, just so we can get like a large group in through this other side. Right, so as we sort of go back down to the fortress, I'll just go to those two groups of citizens just to see if they're actually, if we can actually fix this up just yet. So they're actually two were bisons that are in the hospital zone, and we're trying to build a zone underneath here for them. We're waiting for this floor to come. and waiting for construction. So that one actually is now on its way. I'll make that a top priority. Oh, hang on. They can't get to it. Now what I can do is I can micromanage this a little bit. If I come back up, unfortunately this one can go downstairs. This one here, I can't open up these because it's too dangerous. So Began saying, I finally got my fortress running okay in a serene biome, and I've poisoned all of my dwarfs by building my well on stagnant water. If I rebuild the well in a better spot, will they clean it up all the vomit when they feel better? Yes, they will. You can also, to get around, like if you've built a well over stagnant water, that makes it sound like it's just one of the outdoor ponds, which means it probably doesn't have very much water anyway. It does drain, when they use the wells, it does drain water unless the water runs off the map. And so if it's a river or something like that and it doesn't freeze, then that's one way of doing it. But if it's just something else, like this well that we've got here, for example, goes down to a large area. Where is it actually? It's funny. The numbers have been turned off for some reason. I might just normally you can see the depth. That's what's been throwing me a little bit actually. I'll just go back into the settings and have a quick look and see. I don't know where they actually are. That's the video game. Don't know what's happened with that. There should be something to show the depth. Video. I don't think it's a df hack command. Thought it was in here somewhere. Improvement quality in new items. Show up down arrows on ramps at current elevation. Well, that's normally a yes, I think. Oh, there we go. Show numeric liquid levels. I don't know why these have turned off. The game has just updated. I'll just double check my graphical FPS, which is the speed of the game, is at 25. That's fine. So if everything else I think is fine. I think that's all we needed to look at. Classic very, yeah, I'll just keep that one on. Show rectangular dimensions, yes, that was on as well. So I don't know why these have all gone back. I'll just click on done. That's better. Continue. So we'll not sure what's happened there, why it wasn't showing that. But it often, see how there's like a 6 there and a 6 there. So we are taking water from this location. This is actually a finite water system, not an infinite one. Although we don't know what goes off there. So it will, as we use water, it will just take it from the overall depth, so you don't want to have too much. But what you do want to have is you want to have at least like typically you want to have 2 depth levels. Now we've only got 1, but it's like it needs to be fairly deep. So we've got nice depth where the well actually does come in, and so that's really not an issue at all for us. But it's but if you do actually have another water source, I always like to make it at least too deep. That way the stagnant water or the bad water, see actually the mud that's at the bottom of it, that actually is the problem. So if I click on that one through there, see how it's just we've got water there. We don't get to see what's actually underneath that, but that's actually underneath is the next cavern layer, which happens to also then have water down through here as well. This one here, what's going on there? What was I going to build there? Maybe I was going to build my oh, that's right. This ultimately was at one point going to be where we ended up with the perpetual motion machine. This is actually the start of that whole operation. I forgot that we had done this. And so we actually have a location here as well, which was built for, that we actually constructed ourselves a water catchment in here for building different machines, like a perpetual motion machine there. And I wonder that one, yeah, it can't really go up anywhere. I'm not sure why I did it there. Maybe it's just because it was out of the way. Yeah, it does go up a long way actually, that one there. So I could build perpetual motion machines that go all the way up. That's certainly doable at that location there. Yeah, well, if we look at this layer here, this is not the bottom layer. There's another. This is the layer with that forgotten beast on it. It's now over here somewhere, but I don't think it can get its way up into the middle zone. So I can, and I've had to block off that middle zone. So it makes me think that there may still be something nasty down that way that we're just not we're just not seeing at the moment. We're going to have another look at this. Yeah, that's all secure. So where's that water got to? Here. So we've got a staircase that goes all the way down from this side. It ends up there. So they're still moving off to go and pick up bits and pieces. Okay, look, I'll leave that alone for now. We won't worry about that one. Now the trouble we have is that we need to somehow get the were creatures isolated yet again. They're F3, are they? F2. Let's move across. So we have to bring back down a way to build this. If we open this one up, we're sort of in trouble here. We can do this a different way. Sort of. I can sort of do this a different way. I've got a bit of time, but yeah, I'm not sure what I can do here. I've unfortunately sort of really locked myself in. Like, this is actually now quite bad because I've let them out and I can't fix any of this stuff up. I can fix all these up. What I might do is I might just let the doors be built, and then that way at least it's going to be under control. I'm going to go back to my work orders, sorry, because we've started off by looking at the wooden bins. I'm going to change the number that gets built to 5 at a time. So we end up building 5 in the order that it does actually have. Everything else I think is actually all right. So we'll just leave all that happening. So at this stage, I'll just unpause the fortress and just let them start to just build the bins and stuff. Sparring. Okay, that's not a problem. Poults have hatched. Oh, we only got 3 hostiles. 1, 2. There it is. So this one here is on the top layer. So we've got a forgotten beast there. This is the other one that's now come back in. This is the one that is in the middle layer. So we've got this guy, and this is a forgotten beast. If you have a look at the health, and then actually what's it got? The water covering, so it's been covered in water. Description, so this one is a enormous hairy serpent. It's thin wings, so yeah, so this one also flies as well. So this one is a flying creature. I'll just get rid of that one. And then the last one is this one down through here in the water now as well. So this is a flying worm. So we've got a serpent that's flying and a worm that's flying, all on different layers of the. So all of the layers. I'm glad I didn't just start to open things up with that other one, because this layer now is now dangerous as well. So we've got like a creature flying around in here somewhere. Whereabouts is that one? Yeah, middle of the map actually. So it's just wandered in from somewhere, I'm not sure where. Anyway, that's where that is. So we've got 3 forgotten beasts on the map, which will sort of clean things out to a large degree. I don't think it's going off anywhere. To see where it's moving around, which is always a bit of a worry. Just watch it for a little while and just see if it's on its way somewhere. That's now off away from where we can see things. So it's gone out of there, and this was like these sort of zones were close to where we wanted to then go and operate anyway. This is actually where we were going to open this one up and then build another location back out here, which of course we don't want to be doing at this stage. We're not ready for that. Let's just go back up again to the is it F4, F5. Let's just see what we've got in through here. So they're digging this zone. They're using the what we've got from here. Oh, we've found gold, have we? Yeah, we do. Gold nuggets. That's interesting. Just grab myself a drink of water. Be right back. Began's saying, if the were creatures aren't a good thing, why not kill them off with traps or starvation? They won't starve, because whenever they transform, and we're getting very close to transformation now. So when they transform, everything gets healed, including starvation. So they normally are hungry just before they transform, which is pretty much now. So if we go and have a quick look at them and see, they're still happy. Yeah, they're happy enough. Thirsty, there we go. So it is thirsty. This one here probably will be thirsty or hungry. Yeah, that's thirsty as well. So definitely want to have a drink. But they're just happily playing in those rooms. And then they will transform very, very soon. And once they transform, all that thirst then goes. And we can't trap them because we can't trap a were creature, like they're too big. And then when they're kids, they're just part of the fortress. So at this point in time, they're happily just kids in the fortress, or locked. They're at least locked in their rooms, but they're sort of locked in their rooms. I need to lock them in somewhere else. There they go. Bang! The transformation just happened. So that's the. So both of them have just transformed into werebisons. They both got bitten by a werebison and survived. And when they come back away from being a werebison, all that thirst and hunger will have gone. So they don't actually have any. There's no problem at all with them at this stage. But they're locked in this room. Still playing make-believe, is it? It's a werebison child. There we are. So There we go. It's now early spring. It's funny they're not counted as hostiles, which is strange. I'm sure they are. They should be sort of designated that way. So, Seth was saying, time to make the drowning quarters to get rid of the were creatures. Yeah, maybe. Like we can, when they're kids, we can sort of do things with them, but what we're going to end up doing with them is actually moving them away from the hospital zone and down into this zone here. But I made a mistake, and what I did was I forgot that I hadn't put doors in here yet, and so I forgot that I sort of designated. I actually mined. I shouldn't have mined down or mined up. I actually built I built their way out, and so now if I open up this one, I've had to lock all of these in, so I can't actually finish off this one because he's got access straight down here, out along this other side, and then up any of these and out. So he can't get out of this one. We did manage to lock that one off. This one over through here, we didn't finish off the digging, luckily, so that's just not quite finished. So we've just got a piece of rock there, which allows me access to all of this. So I do have access into here, but I don't have access into like if I open up any of the other side, it ends up with this one actually then being able to get out, and it can essentially go down the stairs here. And then out this. If I open this door up, for example, he will then charge on out. And what I may do is, I wonder if we don't do that now. Actually, I don't know if the were bison will then move off. If I start to, this was the room I'm going to set up for them. So I've got like some doors there. Not that I can do anything with it just yet. And I can't use the kids because the kids haven't grown up, so I can't use them for actually building. Otherwise, I could actually set up like a zone in here for them to actually start to build stuff, but they can't do that. So I could actually then have them use the dolomite rock to build their own doors when they're not were bisons, but I just can't let them out. So I'm a bit sort of stuck in through here. What I might do is I might actually open up this door and just see if they start to move. That one's not moving. That's the only one that can get out. Now, having said that, is anyone else going to be bringing down a door? Tun is actually coming down. Where's Tun? Let's find out where Tun is, because this is what's going to happen is they're going to come out from being were bisons and then try to get out. And so if I can get this door built before this one reacts. Okay, so we've got Toril, who withdraws from society. Just see where this one actually is. So we've got it's in a strange mood. So we'll be, and this one's particularly secretive. This is actually a different type of mood, where we're not going to. This one's currently stunned, and we'll wander off and go and claim a location somewhere, but we don't know what they want. Let's just go back to F2 again. There it is, hauling a petrified wooden door. Who's that? Farmer. What are you doing? Store item in a bin. What item? It's moving straight up to where the were bison is. He's going to put that down there. That's actually a good thing. This one here is going to store an item in a bin. in this case, we need to go and stop. Like, I don't want it coming up in where the werebison is. So we're going to need to go and change. This is where it gets tricky, because we still need to build that. Here comes the kid. Actually, no, that's the doctor. The kid is going to be building that door, which is really critical. I should have stopped all of these things from being built, which I may still be able to do. I'm going to have to really micromanage what actually happens in here. So I'm just going to go and forbid all of the items that are in this room. So everything that's in that room was now forbidden. The bed. They should all be yeah, this is all now forbidden. Which should then stop. Who's this one? This is Memot, the peasant. Moving back. The door is coming in. This kid's now just changed back. Okay, now we're going to need to try to keep this kid in this room. So it's no longer a threat. But it's a threat if it gets outside. So I need to keep it from doing anything. Now, all its clothing is still sitting back around. So Gomok wants to store an item in a bin. So this is actually now going to go off and try to do things. It's only 2 years old. So feels enjoyment after playing make-believe. There we go. So it's quite happy. So what we'll do is it won't have any clothing, so because the clothing will be off. So we need to go and allow it to get its clothes back. So we now need to sort of stop things from happening in here and just go and unforbid all that stuff. And it's now wandering down. Come on, get that door built. It's coming out. Now, it doesn't have any items, so it will come back for its clothing. So I can spend a bit of time here now doing all this stuff. This is good for me. So while we're building all of these, it's going to allow me to open up all of this, because I can then lock these down. But we're going to now we've got a month to get that kid somewhere where we can lock the kid away. So we'll need to follow this one around everywhere, I think, and just then come back and sort of see where things are going. It's going to go and grab a piece of rock. The bloodstones, and it should then go back and get its clothing, because it's now wandering around with nothing on. And it won't like that. Now we've got diplomacy as well. Hang on. Now what's it going off to do this time? Pick up equipment. There it goes. It's going back home again. So this, hopefully, by the time it gets back there, we've then got other stuff. So I'm just going to quickly go to diplomacy. So the Baron meets with the elf diplomat. So Onir's saying, you have disrespected the trees in this area, but this is what we have come to expect from your stunted kind. Further abuse cannot be tolerated. Let this be a warning to you. So we've actually now been warned by the elves about chopping down all the trees. That's what happens. That's just what happens in through here. So make wooden bins has now been completed. Forging copper bolts, that's all good stuff. Okay, William Chapman, he was depressed before. Not enough of those. We've got, yep, so it's claimed and has begun mysterious work. So that the dwarf that was working away is fine. Spring has arrived. All right, so Gomok. So we'll just follow the kid around again, going back home again. And there's their door. Now there's no one else anywhere with this stuff. So I can now lock the kid in this room because we've now got all of this stuff constructed. This now frees us up to essentially do everything we need to do. So with that one done, it will then come back up into here. There it is. Lock that door. There we go. So it's now completely locked in this little room. And we then do have, so this has now all been established as well. Let's just go and lock all of these, just so it can't get back out again. We can now unlock this door, so we can actually now make use of this hospital room. And we can now start to get these doors built as well. So we've got the, now there, it says only one, but there'll be two now that will be stranded. So this one is now locked in this room here. The reason I put these here is because technically I thought that where creatures could smash open furniture, including doors, but they don't seem to be able to do it in this version. But I'm always just wary that that is likely to happen at some point. Let's just go back into here. We'll just go back into the removal. We can now remove all of those. These here still have to be built. So we've still got a lot of doors that we have to be building in the fortress to sort of get things up and running, but at least we've now got that established. That is now locked in. That is now locked in as well, but we don't have the doors. Actually, we do have these now, so I can actually go and lock all of these. I might as well at least do this just so that we can actually then ultimately let out the other kid. Into now by doing all of those, and with that one locked, I can now open up the other zone. But I know that they're always going to come back for their clothes. So this one will start to, you can see it's putting its socks on now. So it's starting to sort of put the clothing on, but the clothing is very, very ragged. So ultimately we'll need to give them more clothes for them to then operate with. Anyway, so Began, we've got a lot of elves through this other different location. So the elves, I think, will declare war fairly soon. They'll be, which is fine. We're certainly very strong. Now, what have we got there? We've got a goblin poet visiting as well. So at this stage, this is now going fairly well for us. So we've been able to do what we had to do there. I can now keep this door open. I can keep all these doors open, actually, for now. So let's just go and leave all of those, just so that we've got access. We haven't unlocked this one yet. What I can do, though, is to put... Well, I do have the other door there, which is good enough. It's just that I then have to make sure that they get out. Like, whichever way it goes... Whoever ends up down in there with that werebison is going to have to be able to get out of there. I'm not ready to do that just yet, so we'll just leave them where they are. And then these will just smooth out these locations as well. And that way we can now wait for these doors. So we now have access back to our hospital, except for these first two rooms. We keep on not being able to make turkey leather gloves, and it's because the poults don't give leather, but actual turkeys do. Okay, so what's this one? A Kalanite ring. Let's go back and go to F3. Is it in here? There it is. No, that's not it. Agoth Etar. Now, this one's not wearing clothing either. This one is... yeah, basically walking around with no clothes on, but with a chalk crown. Everyone else is wearing proper clothing. So I'm not sure why Toral has decided not to wear any clothes. But inside here we now have Agoth Etar, which has been designated to go off and be stored away. But I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to block that one off, and then I'm just going to go down into this location here, and just going to go and place it. We've got a silver pedestal there. We'll assign a new display item. This will be a ring. And type was it? There it is. Kaolinite. So we have that one there. That was a new one. So we've got a fair few different rings on display. This is sort of like where we've got our most valuable items. Just sort of showing them while people can... So we're leaving it fairly open. So we haven't had any real problems just yet. So that's all good. The other things we then actually have going as well is we've got the justice. I don't know if there's anything... Here we go. So we're now starting to have problems in our justice system, which we haven't sort of seen. So we've got building destruction here, and so we've actually seen witnesses. Zulban, the blacksmith, has been accused by a lot of different people of destroying something. So we can then go back in, and this is an unsolved thing. We didn't have this one last time. This has happened just recently. This is the 6th of Timber in 304. It's now 305, the early spring of 305. So timber, that would have been at the end of last year, and it was now at the start of the next year. Vandalism, again on the 6th of Timber. Zulban in through here has been witnessed, where there's a lot of people have seen Zulban doing some bad things. On the report on the 7th of Timber. So we're now starting to get like some open cases for our justice system to start to work. We might just quickly talk about how that actually does operate. So our justice system is done from this part of the fortress. So we've got ourselves like an area up in here. And we're going to start to see more and more cases come in. So we need to now go and deal with these. And we deal with them, if I go back and have a look at the zones, these are the zones. This one is the sheriff or the captain of the guard. And so the sheriff is essentially the main policeman. And then over through here, we have the dungeon master. So Corslord is our dungeon master, and Adrian Sotir is our sheriff. So these are, one will look after the actual prisoners, and the other one will look after the other guys. Now, I don't know if I've got a hammer as well. Yeah, Adrian Sotir is both the sheriff and the captain of the guard. So he is the sheriff. He or she, it's hard to tell, is essentially in charge of looking for these sorts of things. So there'll be an interrogation. Let's just go and start this. This is quite intricate, the way that this actually does work. So with these, we've got building destruction and vandalism. These happen on the same day. This would have been from some sort of tantrum. So what we can do is we can now go and interrogate. And so we're going to go and interrogate Zulban, the blacksmith. So we will go and bring that one in. Now we do actually have, we can call in anyone. We can actually fabricate. Once we've got an open area, we can start to, if we've got someone that's a real problem in the fortress, we can bring them in for questioning, including the kids. So we can sort of ultimately frame them for stuff. So we don't have to, and sometimes the dwarves will actually, if they don't like someone, they will actually, they will dob them in for a crime that may not even exist. Anyway, Zulban is going to be brought in for that one. There's 20 witnesses here. So we'll just go into that one through there, and interviewed include, I'll actually keep that one going, and then we've got the vandalism as well, and so we can just go and interrogate at the same time 14 witnesses to the vandalism that Zulban then created. All right, so let's go and see what's going to happen here. So there's going to be an arrest. We'll just go back to Adrian Sotir. He was outside. It's DasTactic. There we go. And just follow that one around. Now it's going to just do its job initially. And is now going off to interrogate Zulban, the blacksmith. So it'll find Zulban. Is that Zulban? Nope. Don't know where Zilban is. Now we've got Zilban here. So there's Zilban. Wants to have a drink, but is going to be interrogated in here. Now, why are they heading off so far away? Usually, if it's done down this way, because they're chopping trees down, they're picking up trees from way back over this other side. Not sure what's going on there. Let's just go and find these guys again. So Zilban is in tow. It's essentially sort of been arrested. Are they going through that that horrible sort of fog? An elven caravan has arrived. Just watch this as it goes through. This choking cloud is going to make everyone really, really ill. It's because they were trying to get the wood up through the into the fortress. And unfortunately, because they've all been outside, we're going to have like a lot of dwarves who are going to be very, very unhappy after this. Down into the depths. A lot of vomit from choking on the cloud of smoke. And into the office. So essentially now so that has now been so at that point in time we've now got here we go, we've got Kujagrim, the ghostly herbalist has now risen, is haunting the fortress. So we now we've got a lot of things we need to now go and do. Elven caravan has arrived. I don't even care if I don't trade with them at this stage, so we'll probably get rid of them. We might have a look and see what they've got. Sparring, Cavi pups, that's okay. It says resting an injury there. Oh, Zilban cancels drinking. Resting an injury, okay, that's okay. So Zilban was the one that was arrested. We've got a fungi wood bin. Human poet has shared a rumour from abroad. And then we've got Kujagrim is doing the fortress. We'll come back to that in just a minute. So I'll stop following. Now, Adrian is possibly, this one's thirsty. This one here is going off for a drink as well. So the interrogation has been done. If we go back into the justice menu, now we do actually have, it's still unsolved. There were so many different things. I mean, if we go back to interrogate, it's already been interviewed. What I might do is I might interview somebody who actually saw what was going on. So if we go and have a look and see, so the art of stuttering, for example, was a witness. So a lot of these, so if I just go back in, I'll just find a few of the named people. William Chapman, but he's a bit, these are all people who have accused and they've got Private Joe as well. Let's go and just go and get a few of these to interrogate. So we've got the art of stuttering. Just go and, I think that's all we need to do. I might just do it bit by bit, and then vandalism. We should be able to get the information from this as well. We've got intelligence. This is the interrogation report. Met with the subject, attempted to build rapport in order to elicit information. Subject was a natural loner and refused to listen. In retrospect, the interrogator may have completely misjudged subject's character. So that's the interrogation that actually happened in through there. No convicts at all at this stage, but Zilban will be, will definitely be the one that we need to go for. And with the building destruction through there, intelligence, and again, that's okay. So we just, I think, what we'll do is, I think the interrogation is if I don't think interrogating somebody, like we can ask them questions and stuff. from suspects. But let's just see what we end up getting, because we can do that with anybody. Now, there's a kid there. We don't really want them in these rooms, but anyway, he's just eating something with what's going on. They'll just wander off. We'll come back and look at the other one after we've actually done the interrogation. Yep, that's okay. So now Kujagrim. So F3. Which one is it? This one here. So these are slabs that where we don't actually have anything going. Now there should be, because there's a ghost in the fortress somewhere, and we have to. There it is there. So Kujagrim has come back from the dead, and is haunting somebody. I don't know. Maybe it's Cause Lord. I'm just not sure. And so, so with that one there, we have to lay it to rest. And the way that we do that is there should be like an order that automatically gets done in here, but it's actually not being done at this stage. It won't be done there, of course. So we've got, yeah, I'm not sure what we should do with this. Normally it would come up once per day. What I'll do is I will actually go and designate another one in through here. I'm just going to add a new task. So this is going to be Engraved Memorial Slab. And so this will be for Kujagrim. So you can see down through there, so a lot of these are entombed, but Kujagrim is here, ghost, no slabs engraved. So we're just going to go and do that one. We're going to make that the most important slab to engrave. So we'll just go and get that one done. Is that working? Nope, still not doing it. There we go. So now engraving the slab for Kujagrim. I don't really want to be trading with the elves, I don't think, so I don't think I'll bother with that. There goes the ghost. I'm not sure what it's doing. We'll just wait for this to be engraved. Just make sure there's nothing else that's being done as well, because it will automatically do the engraving. There it is. So at this point in time, the Dolomite Memorial to Kujagrim is in that location. Hasn't been picked up as a task at this point in time. So we'll now go back down into the well, up to F2, which is high in the fortress, and we're just putting anyone that we put to rest. We're just putting up along these walls. So these are ghosts that have come back into the fortress from the previous. This is usually from the previous fortress, like because we did a reclamation. So we'll just go back into this one. It's furniture. It's going to be a slab, and there it is. So we then just go and do that one, and we then just make it a top priority. There it goes, and now the ghost has been laid to rest. So hopefully not too much damage has been done in terms of freaking people out. Neems the mayor has ended a mandate. That's okay. That's fine. Snowstorm has come. The turkey gloves is a problem. I'm going to have to fix that at some point. Maybe I'll do that now, just because we're trying to get our military to wear turkey gloves, turkey leather, but we're not actually making turkey leather because the poults are being sort of they don't actually give a leather, whereas the actual turkeys, the full grown turkeys do. So they're not, when we're slaughtering the poults for food. So we don't really have anything else left there. This is still not built yet, but I can. Essentially, I can now open up this area for the kids, but I'll now wait until we've had one more round of were bisons before we move them off into this particular room. So there'll be and I might put a hatch cover on there as well. doors and hatches, just so I can sort of lock them in even more. Now, sorry, the turkey leather. Okay, so what we have is we've got a few different things. We've got ourselves this particular group. If we go back into their equipment, we can see down through there that they don't actually have, some of them have got gloves, but some of them don't have gloves. So the uniform that they've got is the Ranger's uniform that we've given them. And if we go to the details, we can then sort of see that they are wearing, oh, actually they're wearing any old leather gloves, but these are actually old stuff. Leather leg wear. Yak leather armour. Yeah, so we've got the armour, the trousers, etc. So we've got leather armour, headwear, leg wear, hand wear, footwear. We mustn't be building the other bits and pieces because I'm pretty sure we've got leather in the fortress. If we don't, we'll need to go and make some. But I've been trying to designate here. Yeah, they've got all these different low boots, leather armour, etc., etc. So we've got boots and things being built from there, but they keep on trying to make these turkey leather gloves, and so I'm just going to go and change that just to gloves. We need to also make leather helmets, and that's something we don't actually have in our work orders. So if we go to our work orders and just look for all the leather stuff, which I think was fairly low in the list. So we've got, like, actually there is leather helms there, but not activated. Why not? Amount of helms, material, it should be leather. Actually, it should be leather helms. Yeah, that's not gonna help. Sure, leather items, there we go. Yeah, amount of leather helms. If the amount of leather helms is less than 5, that's now satisfied. So we need to get those done. And the amount of tanned hides is greater than 10, which we don't actually have. So we're not actually, our leather, we don't have enough leather in the fortress. So that's that one. So that will now get the helms done. If we now go back down to, we've got turkey leather gloves in through here, but this has been, this has not really been working all that well. I think I'll just take it away from being turkey leather just to being gloves. Hang on. Coming back up. Turkey fat. Turkey leather gloves. I don't know where the... It won't be turkey leather from in here. So there's nothing in that list. I thought it was material in here. There we go. No, just amount of gloves. It still has to be leather, so the adjective needs to still be leather. Leather gloves. So the amount of leather gloves available is less than 10. So we'll still keep on building these up. And so we do need to have... is available as less than 10. And that should still work. What I'll have to do is just go back. So we actually do have leather gloves. We've got more than 10 leather gloves. So I'll just leave that one where that is. That's just now going to be just to make leather gloves. The still says turkey leather gloves. That's, oh sorry, this is the type. Yeah, that's okay. I'll leave that one where that is. And if I then come back out into here to the type, so the turkey leather gloves here need to be changed. That's it there. Don't know how to turn that off. There's a none. Yeah, unfortunately, it is just set for turkey leather. Oh well. Look, I'll leave it there for now. Yeah, no, this is a problem. I think I'll have to get rid of it. See what the settings are. Yeah, no, there's nothing else there. Not sure what I can do there. So Boland's saying, is our main hall big enough for our fortress? There seems to be some serious crowding. They're congregating. It's certainly not too bad. Adrian's saying, I'm still alive. Yes, you're now doing. You're now interrogating people. So we'll get more and more crimes actually happening. So there'll be more and more interrogations. These now we've got the turkey leather gloves here. What I'll do is I'll leave that one on and throw that one in there. It's less than 10. I'll just get rid of that one there. And then what we'll do is we'll leave that one where that is. I'll just go and add another one. Leatherworks. Leather gloves. Make a pair of leather gloves. And just make one pair at a time. And in this case it'll be amount of leather gloves and tanned hides. So just keep those back on there, and this will then we'll be changing this adjective to the leather gloves. Amount of leather gloves. Okay, so that's now been allocated. So if the amount of leather gloves is less than 10, then do it. And if the amount of tanned hides is greater than 10, then do it. But neither of those. We don't have enough leather in the fortress, and for that we really need to have like a leather industry set up. I think we'll just have to keep on doing what we're doing. There's not a real lot we can do. Let's go back up to the top of the fortress now and just see if, yeah, this is better. We've now got the bolts where they should be. So that's now sort of been sorted. Now what else are we going to do? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, I'm not sure we can sort of do much with this. Okay, we're smelting the gold that we found. Actually, that's right. We needed to go back into this location and just start to dig around here. It's going to take a bit of time to do, but we'll start to just sort of dig down. So again, we'll just go back into here and just channel down around the corner. I can't do the whole big area because it will ultimately then crash down. So there'll be issues if I do it. I'm just going to do it little bit by little bit. So we'll just watch as these sort of come in and do it. We're now seeing the area down below. So we're sort of making like a large cavern, but we have to do this one safely. Has Kujagrim is the bookkeeper is stumbling around obliviously. That's not good. Yep, so there's things are not going all that well. Alright, we can now do the next row. I think I'll just do it row by row. This will then allow the trees to grow tall. And this is a safe way of doing it. Down into that bottom section. So all the rocks from here are falling down below. Almost there. And with the dead areas where we can't do any growing, we can create essentially like I can dig down a little bit there as well if I wanted to, and then create like a pond, like different ponds in here, which will, and then just stop them from being ponds before they become too deep. That way they'll just be muddy, and then they'll grow things. Nearly there. There we go. Now if we have a bit of a look, we've got sort of like up areas in through here, so I'll just go and delete these. Oops, hang on, where is it? Just get those removed, get those removed. Let's get that corner removed as well. So that will then give us like a largish area. And we do actually have a zone in there as well, which we can where we can actually remove this as well. I think I might just go and do that. Oh, hang on, these aren't quite right. So I'm just going to remove this stuff. These don't matter. It's the layer below. And again, look, what I might do is I might actually go and do this one. So if I just go back into here and then just go and dig a ramp up and just get rid of all of this stuff, I can then dig up from the bottom just to create like a an area there. Okay, Kujagrim is now throwing a tantrum. That's going to then cause issues. So what we can do there is ultimately end up with the yeah, actually that's fine where that is. Sorry, I'm just looking at all this stuff now. Just go back and ditch all of this. So if Kujagrim is throwing a tantrum, just trying to find where that actually is. Yep, they've already now transformed again a second time. Keep that one going. So Kujagrim threw a tantrum in here. Now this is again, when they throw a tantrum, there's the captain of the guard working the wood furnace. I think what we might just do is have a quick look at the justice system yet again. So we did actually do the tavern keeper was actually asked. So it was too afraid to not to comply. Unfortunately, no new. Yeah, okay. So we have to just do it with the. I'm going to convict the previous one. If we just go back to the open cases. So there was too many witnesses here. Zulban does need to be punished for both these different things. So they're both Zulban. So the other one's throwing a tantrum is not really enough just yet. So we're going to convict Zulban in through here. And are you sure you want to convict Zulban? This action is irreversible. Yes, proceed. And so we'll do that one. And so we've got vandalism. Sometimes it's worth keeping them open. But I think we'll convict in this case. So we'll convict for both of those cases. And so what we should now find is, I forget who will now go off and do it. Let's find Zulban and just see what actually happens to Zulban. Zulban the blacksmith. He's actually fairly happy. So developed empathy somehow. I don't know why. It's just socialising at the moment. Now, reporting a crime. Reporting a crime. Are they all going off to report crimes? Oh, the Kujagrim is still throwing a tantrum there. He told the farmer is reporting a crime. So crime is off to be reported. Something has happened in here. That's still on display there. So nothing's been stolen. I was concerned that something may have been stolen in this room here. Yeah, this is a bit small now. We might have to make it a bit larger. Just extend it down. So it probably is the tantrum. I think the tantrum will be what people are going off to report. This just follow Zulban around. This will still happen. So we'll just go and see what actually happens here. Some migrants have arrived. Okay, well that's now more important. Have a look and see who we've got. So we've got ourselves a butcher, a fish cleaner. They're sort of fairly useless. Cat. A stray water buffalo calf. A hunter. All right, this is with the hunter. I think I'm just going to go and place them straight into the into this one through here. This is Tirist. That's funny. We've got an expert Marks Dwarf there as well. Now I've got other ones doing other things. There's the other hunter, competent Marks Dwarf. And that hunter there. I'll just get both of them involved in the in this squad. Here we go. Microline table destroyed by Kujagrim. That's what it'll be. So causing destruction. So there will have to be another trial, I think. Novice paper maker. Armourer, useful. Potter. Turkey gobbler. A foal. Siege engineer. Another armourer. Mason. Reindeer. Cow, that's good. You get some milk from that. Siege engineer there. Kids. And that, no, it's not it yet. Gem setter, good. Animal trainer. Bone doctor. All right, well, that's going to be useful in the... so this one is a bone setter, accomplished wound dresser, accomplished bone doctor. So we'll definitely make that one into one of our doctors. This is Domus. We'll try to remember that one. God, there's a lot coming in. Another cook. A herbalist. Someone's pet lamb. Pet cat. Whoa, here we go. We've got another forgotten beast has arrived. A hairy sauropod. It's a broad shell and it squirms and fidgets. Now this should end up fighting whatever forgotten beast is down with it. Let's pause that and we'll have a quick look. So we've still got more units coming. I won't worry too much about them. This is on that top layer. Interesting. So we've got the... it's just off the map at the moment. Yeah, so we're not seeing it, but this is actually the one that possibly will fight this one here. We'll have to watch for... yeah, they're very close. Not seeing it. Yeah, I'll have to keep a watch on that one there. All right, so we've got Kujagrim has destroyed this one, and so they're all... I'll just go back to Zulban again and have a quick look and see who's there. Oh, Zulban has now been already been arrested in the meantime. So if we just go and have a quick look. So Zulban has just... So Adrian has... so Zulban has come in to report a crime. And has now been convicted and put into this particular room. So, and has been injured already. So if we have a look at the actual, at the health, there's already been justice carried out. I'll get rid of that one. That one's okay. Should show us in through here. Yeah, so you can see down through there, the captain of the guard is fighting. So we can sort of see there that the captain of the guard bites the blacksmith in the right lower arm, tearing the fat and bruising the muscle. Latches on firmly. Captain of the guard punches the blacksmith in the right upper leg. So punching again. So this is all punishment, I think, because there's nothing coming back. There's no fighting back. Yep. So punches the blacksmith again. So basically, that was possibly what was designated as the actual as what had to be done. And if we look at it from the blacksmith, so it keeps on sort of being thrown down by the captain of the guard all the time. So essentially, that's now... So Zulban has now been placed inside the this particular location. Is a little bit injured. So we've got one injured citizen. And we can actually then sort of go and see what sort of injuries we've got. Look at the description. Her right lower arm is cut open. Her lower body is cut open. So there has been a couple of cuts there, just with what's actually going on. Whoops, hang on. back up into here. So, more justice. What else do we need? So we've got disorderly conduct. So we now actually have closed cases. We've now got these two in through here. And we can sort of then go and see what actually happened with these. If we've got the convicts. So Zulban, 28 days in prison is actually what's been designated for building destruction and vandalism. So so by Officer Adrian Sotier back in through there. And so Zulban is now going to have to spend a month in prison. Just go back to the open cases. So we have a lot of accusers. Kujagrim. So Kujagrim we know did a lot of problems. Kujagrim is also that one there. Building destruction, Kujagrim. Disorderly conduct, Kujagrim. So I'm just going to go and automatically convict. I'm not going to bother. Actually, I will interrogate again. Let's do an interrogation for Kujagrim here, the bookkeeper. Now, this is going to then be a bit of a problem. So Kujagrim will ultimately then be brought back into this room here again, just for interrogation. Merchants will be leaving soon, I don't care. Oh, now where did we find that? Just want to have a look at this. Now this cavern has collapsed. There's all fire everywhere. This is in the bottom layers. But where is it? So I think that the Forgotten Beasts are smashing their way around. Yeah, it's all on fire. It's miles away from the danger zone for us. So what's actually happened here is we've just witnessed that there's been something going on in here. If we just go back to the three hostiles, we've got that one. Sorry, that's that one there. This is the other one. This is the new one that's come in. So it's not fighting at this stage. And that one. But there's something going on in the bottom cavern. Now there was the fire-breathing one that was in here. I don't know why the cavern wall has collapsed. A section of cavern has collapsed. It's this here. We can see the dust. Where's the creature? I'm not seeing the Forgotten Beast there at all. We can see that there's smoke. But this is, we've got... as we sort of come back down, that should be just dust, I think. No, that's ashes. Just let it run forward a little bit. So something has happened there where something has fallen. I don't know how. I'll just get rid of that one. We don't have any, there's no issues with what we've found. Actually, now I've struck, actually that one there, striking clear diamond and stuff. Where was that? It's as if I've got someone down here. This, I think, is... this is all part of this one big layer. We were sort of seeing different things in here, but how are we seeing it? This is really concerning. It's really concerning that we're sort of that we're watching something big and dangerous down this way. I can't see any creatures. It's saying that we struck it. It's all in this region here. Let's just go back up and have another look and just see if there's anything at all that we've done. No, we really haven't had a look down this way at all. It's as if something has actually wandered down. Like one of our creatures has wandered down to have a look at something, and I don't know how it would have got out. But that is a problem if it is. We've got a stairwell there. That's not open. That's the only area that I can see that we've actually got any way into this region at all. That one doesn't extend any further. We've got this as well, which doesn't extend anywhere else as well either. So I think we're actually okay. I don't think there's any real issues. We're going to just keep an eye on things, I guess. Sparring doesn't matter. I'll just go back up to the Justice layer again and have a bit of a look around. To see if we've got any more interrogation news. Yeah, we've got those two reports, but we still need to. We've still got the interrogation going out for the. I'll just do the Kujagrim interrogation. They're all okay. Here they come. So Kujagrim, the bookkeeper. All right, so let's have a look and see what actually happened out of that one there. Attempted to build rapport in order to elicit information. Subject spurned the value of cooperation, refused to listen despite being inclined to converse. In retrospect, interrogator may have completely misjudged. So we're not doing too well with what we're doing through here. It's okay. So Kujagrim will end up. Got one convict there at the moment. Let's just go back to the open cases. We know that Kujagrim, I'm going to convict Kujagrim of each of these. Yes, proceed. Convict Kujagrim. There's too many witnesses. Now this is going to injure Kujagrim as well. Wow, disorderly conduct. Okay, so proceed. We should be banning people if they get convicted. Should we make that a thing in future? If they end up in prison, that's a ban as well. A timeout for well, Zulban wasn't named, but Kujagrim is named. Let me know what you think in the chat. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, 24-hour ban says dying noob. There we are. So Boland's saying, yeah, we did the main hall. So I've missed other comments. So Marcelo Sirius saying, were creature? Yeah, we've got a couple of kids that were bitten by. You know, there's Resmal in the planter. They're coming in here to eat. Yeah, so we don't have a big enough zone for the others. They will be brought in. So Zulban is here we go. Now, are you injured as well? Yeah, haggard and injured. So in this case, we look at the health, look at the description. So neck is torn open, right false ribs is mangled beyond recognition. Her left lower arm is bruised. And so so the Adrian Sote here has been, again, just really sort of smashing it, like, you know, a bit of a beating with what's going on through here. So that was the blacksmith. Now the bookkeeper also then sort of is copping it. Just with punching, that's all we're actually doing. Actually, and biting. Punching and biting. I think that's all that's actually happening there. So anyway, they're They're both inside their respective zones. And if we have a look at the justice menu, no open cases. These are all the closed cases now. So we've convicted the various people of this one. We can leave something open and then frame someone if we have to. Fortress Guard. Now I've got desired metal cages, and so we've got 6 of 12. We want to have even more. And these are areas for rehabilitation. So we've got the convicts, intelligence here. We've got all that stuff there with the different stuff that we've done. So yeah, we've got the captain of the guard there. All right, so we need to. It wants to have even more cells, which I can do. So I might as well start to dig out more cells out this way. So just make little 3x3 areas in through this other side. Yeah, I'll just dig them across. So we've put bars, vertical bars there with doors. Well, we don't actually need the doors. We only need the chain. That's all we really need. That'll do us. Here we go. The Forgotten Beasts are fighting each other. Now we saw that this is what has happened down through here, but we've got it's these two here that are probably the important ones. So this is they're hurling balls of fire at each other. So they're attacking each other in through here. So this was down in this zone. There's one of the Forgotten Beasts has been destroyed. So that happened a while back. Cave crocodile was killed there. That one's still around in the bottom. Yeah, this one's actually now come into the zone that we were going to be working in. It's this one here. Looks like it's actually killed something. So if we have a bit of a look, this one is now injured. If we look at the health, its left rear foot is cut open. That's it. So even though it looks like there was fire breathed on it, it didn't actually affect it. It's giant bat blood. So there's been fighting down in this way as well, with giant bats. So a lot going on that we're not really watching. All right, that's okay. Stray kittens are being slaughtered. That's sort of the way it goes. I think what I might do is I'll go back into my my various zones as well. I'll just watch this thing as it wanders around. It's not really doing anything. That's okay. We've got a band there. They're just sparring away. That's fine. 3 hostiles. So this one here they can get around the different locations. They haven't broken open these at all, but it did actually sort of slither its way into that zone. Gosh, I'd like to be able to work on this, but it's just a bit too dangerous unless I send my military dwarves in. We could always do that. So, yeah, so Sev is saying we agree with this proposition. Okay, we'll do that from now on. I don't think Kujagrim is in anyway. Oh, yes, Kujagrim is in. Kujagrim, I'm going to give you a 10-minute ban. Just make sure that you're in. Yeah, you were actually sent to the dungeons. Where were they? Dungeons are around here somewhere. Yeah, sorry, Kujagrim. I'm going to have to. We're going to have to punish you for the wanton destruction of the fortress. What's that over there? That's nothing. It's just a mistake. So I will actually ban Kujagrim. Where can we do this? There we go. So I'll give you a 10-minute ban for being such a bad person. There we go. So time out 10 minutes for Kujagrim. We'll do half hours from now on. Actually, depending on, we should see what the we should make it sort of depending on the actual convictions. So Kujagrim, 28 days in prison. There we go. So it's still the same. It's the same 22 days left. And for this one through here. So for vandalism, it's a 10-minute ban of 28 days in prison. If it's more serious, I'll ramp it up from different things in through there. All right, so I think that's fair enough. I think it's fair enough if your dwarf does something bad. It's make it 1 minute for each day of prison. Do you reckon like that makes it into an even longer ban? Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I can only. I don't think I can. I'll just see if I can actually do that a different way. Select the ban reason optional. I won't do that one. I've only got. This is my sort of like what the little thing that I have where I can sort of then go and do bans. I don't know if I can actually do anything else in through here. So this is actually just select the ban reason. So I can add more stuff in there, but I can't actually add more there. Now I've got mod. That would make a mod. That would be the mod user. So I only got like the timeouts in through this other side. What I'd like to do is actually change these. Like a 5-second timeout. This is useless. I mean, I would prefer these to be for like 10, 10, 30, an hour, or something like that. But I'm not sure if I can change those. So anyway, that's sort of that's what I've got that I'm playing with. I wonder if I close that one and then bring that one back up again. I'll just see if it opens up. No, it opens up back in the other screen. That's all right. So I can do it manually, but it's easier for me to just use that one. I might see if I can actually edit that. See if I can actually change that one manually. I'll try to remember. Actually, one thing I do have to check is. I may have a stream that I have to do on Slytherin, but I'm not 100% sure about that one. Just keep on going this way. In we go. Yeah, Adrian's saying, what do I bite them when I catch them? I think it looks like that's what you do. But you're doing damage. Like they're actually injured. This one's now healthy again. So they get over their injuries fairly quickly. Yeah, Forgotten Beasts. Oh, we've got a demand there from the mayor. So, export of tunics is prohibited. Clear glass window in the throne room office is required now. Clear glass window. This is actually the sort of what they need. Clear glass window. That's going to be a problem. With the champion as well, which we now have access to. So we do actually have these can be sort of like the main fighters and stuff from the fortress. So we've got Union ID as a Mace Lord. We might look at maybe next time, sort of designating as someone like we'll see who is around. We still need chests and cabinets there. One chest required for Began. Just let these things keep on sort of working their way through. So do this bottom corner. So we're trying to make this a fairly pleasant environment for the prisoners. Ultimately. There we are. All right, we'll wait for all that to be sorted out. Got wolves now outside. They shouldn't really worry us too much, I don't think. Yep, so we've got the transformations there with the kids turning into were-bisons. Can we deal with anything just yet? I just want to sort of make sure that we can actually sort of go and do stuff. So they've just come back out of being were-bisons. Got one injured citizen, that will be Kujagrim. Back in through here, so taking its punishment. And thirsty in here, actually. So this is, so somebody will have to come and give water to Zulban. Someone will, that will be designated as a job. Now we've certainly got a big fortress now. Lot to do, actually. There's an awful lot for us to do in here. Now we've got our main gold sarcophagus there for Began. That's all okay. Don't think there's much else we need to really concern ourselves with at this point in time. There's the gems. Yeah, we've now got a collection of bins, which is good. We're clearing out stuff in here that we don't want to be worrying about. The sand in there, which is actually okay. So we do need to make a clear glass window. Don't know why that one was locked. Just unlock that one. Now, I don't even know where that table was. Oh, there it is. It's the office. It's his own office that was actually destroyed. All right. So we no longer our broker is currently in the prison. So we'll just go back in the furniture table and just designate a table there. And I think we will actually now dig further down in this other side. So we've got an area there. We'll leave that one through there. And then we'll just come back a bit deeper there, I think. Don't really want to go much further that way. And yeah, so it's going to be a fairly longish zone there. I'll just let that happen as well. Now, how are we going? We've still haven't got these doors built, not that it really matters that much. What I might do is I might now, we're just past the full moon. I might open this up now, because the kids will come back. They'll come back into this zone. If I unlock... Yeah, all this is locked, so we don't have to worry about that one. I want to get them away from this zone now. So I think what we'll do is we'll go and dig this out. And so we'll just go back in and go back into the designation and change it from marked to an actual to be mined. So when this happens, hopefully we'll get out fast. All right, so the kid will be going off. This one's stressed, this one's pretty happy. This one plays make-believe. This one here doesn't. They're both 2 years old. So I can get them to sort of play together. We can now lock this door because we can now manage everything from the top. Actually, what I will do is I'll open it up and allow that one, and I'll actually open this one up as well. Just going to pause this suspend construction there just until we're ready. Yeah, everything else is nice and secure. Yeah, this one's wanting to come out. Let's go, keeps on going back into this room. You know, it still may be viable for us to do that. I might block these off. And what we can do is actually build things for them to do in here. So let's go in and build furniture. So we put some beds down in here for them. And that'll do us for starters. Okay, so it's getting attached to a steel mace. And what I can do is I can make these into little bedrooms as well, just for the kids. So if we give them this region, they're going to be locked in here for the rest of their lives, basically. So we'll just go back in and create a zone, bedroom zone, accept, and another one back up in here. Where are we? Bedroom. This way. So if I just go back into those zones, this bedroom is designated to which one is it? I forget what their names are. I think it's Gomok. I think this one here is Gomok. No, this is Isar. And there's Gomok. Gomok Alathan. And this is Isar Rumtavad, or Castle Seal. Isar Castle Seal. Where's Isar? Not seeing it, Isar there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So we've got, so it should be up in here somewhere. Yeah, we've got a lot of people without actual, without bedrooms. There's a lot actually. So we will need to go and get all of those done. Oh, there's a dwarf herbalist necromancer as well. So we actually have a necromancer now in the fortress. That can be interesting. All sorts of weird stuff can happen with that. And we forgot about our bone doctor as well. The kids, these are the new kids. There's Isa. Isa Rimtavad. So we'll give that one that bedroom. So that's going to be that. So that's Isa's bedroom. And the other one was Gomok, who already had a bedroom. There we go. So that's now got its own bedroom. So I think that with that now I will actually open these up, because they should now, when they want to sleep, is to go into there. There they go. Oh, damn it. I have screwed up. I have screwed up in here. All right, now, okay, now we're okay. And I'm going to now lock this off, so you can no longer go back out of this room. So so you're stuck there. That now frees up all of this side of the fortress. So I can now open this whole area up. So I can actually now make this one into passable. I'm going to lock these anyway because we don't need these to be unlocked. We can then just get rid of this one now as well. It's funny how you just got to be so careful with everything that you do. So we now have access back to the hospital again. Speaking of which, we've got that bone doctor. So this is... so I'll bring the other one in as a... this is the new one. This one's competent as well. I can keep on making more, getting more and more of them. Not that I need them. I'll leave it like this. Some of these may not be worth having, but no, I'll just leave them where they are. At least you've got a nice big bedroom now to play in with your friend. Oh, hang on, these are locked. Unlock. All right, smooth that one out. Still injured. Sleeping now, no longer thirsty, so they are sort of giving them the food that they require. We need to now put the vertical bars in through this other side, so I'm just making these out of copper. So this is under constructions, walls. I think this is how we do it. And we've got copper bars. Where's copper? There it is. Oh, hang on, that's not it. No, cancel that construction. Instructions, vertical bars, there it is. I think this is how we did it last time, but I've got a funny feeling you still can't put doors next to bars like this. Just see how we go. Can we place a door there? Yeah, it needs a door. Okay, so we don't have any doors available just yet. I'll just leave that where that is. And then we'll, actually we ultimately need to get the beds and stuff, so I might as well start to, actually the doors, we're just having such trouble actually building anything, and I just wonder whether we're actually out of rock. We are building stuff, it's just happening very, very slowly. I might just build another stone worker there. Just build them out of a bit of dolomite. That'll do. I'm going to have to just keep on digging to get more of rock. We're using a lot of it. Actually, I'm probably going to have to call it quits here, I think. You've Forgotten Beast, still fighting. That's okay. Yep, we're building a lot of stuff. Everything's going very, very well here. We've still got rock down the bottom here as well. There's lots of dolomite that we did actually dig out. Sparring. Anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. So thanks for watching. I'm not sure if I'm streaming over on Slytherin, but I haven't been given my list yet of streams. So I could very well be. Actually, I might just double. No, well, if I'm there, I should be there in about 2 hours' time. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later if you're around. Thanks for watching. Actually, I don't know if I'll be there. Probably not, I would guess. Otherwise, I think I'd know by now. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow if you're around.